Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today I have with me Lauren Hartnett. Lauren, thank you so much for being on. This is what I love about my job. It's not just driving around and going places and talking to people, but I get to hang out with all the cute chicks. And that's just a bonus. That's just a bonus. All right, so we are, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
All right. All right, we are on Staten Island, and we are going to drive into New York City. This is going to be pretty cool because I've only driven in New York a couple of times, and I've never hurt anybody or hurt myself.
Like I said, it's not really like driving in New York City. It's going to be more like rolling in New York City.
What I've noticed about the city, people that live in this city, they sure do like to wait. Oh my gosh, I was on the way down here, and it said it was like 18 miles away is going to be about 50 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. Craziness.
Yeah.
But that's all right. This is what it is. This is the glamorous life that we live. All right, Lauren, tell us about you. People might know you from a number of different things, and we're going to talk about each of these. And, yep, we're taking a left. So tell us about you. How did you get into shooting? Tell us what you do. First of all, tell us what you do, because you have a whole resume full of stuff.
I do. So I guess it's not really by day, it's by night. I'm paramedic in New York City, so I work nights. That's why I say it's by night. But that's my day job, my night job.
My day job is working at night.
I don't know what to call it, because it's my full-time job. It's I guess, my profession. And I've been doing that now for like 11 years.
Wow.
So it makes me feel old, because I'm not that old. But
you started when you were 3. That's cool.
Yeah, rolling around in the ambulance, woo. So working EMS kind of exposed me to a whole lot of different types of areas and things, and
sure,
it kind of started instilling that whole self-awareness and situational awareness and what's going on in the world type stuff, because I'm a first responder in New York City. We're the busiest agency, we're the busiest city, so everything's always relevant to us. When something's going on someplace else, it always ends up being relevant in New York. So my aunt is actually a firearms instructor, and she's originally from Staten Island, and then she was up in a little bit south of Albany, Hudson County, New York. So up there, they're a little bit more liberal with their gun laws, so people conceal carry, and guns aren't a foreign concept up there.
Right.
So I started getting into it because a lot of my friends out here, I became friends with a lot of cops, and I was like, you know what, I really want to do this. So
makes sense.
I would go up with my aunt, and she would teach me, which is pretty cool because I formally was taught by another female, and 10 years ago that wasn't really as common as it is now, or as it's becoming now.
Sure.
So you're gonna make it right here. So yeah, and I kind of fell in love with it from there.
Yeah.
And then I just started wanting to reach out to more people, and then I wanted New York City to not be so anti-gun, and I was like, you know what, the best thing,
what are we doing up here?
We're gonna go towards the Verrazano Bridge, so it's to the left.
All right.
So I felt like the best way was to get involved, so I got my pistol permit when I turned 21.
Very cool.
Cost me an arm and a leg.
Ugh.
Maybe my first-born child. And from there, you're gonna get in the right lane.
Yep.
And from there, it kind of just took off. And then
let me ask you this. How much does it cost to get your gun license in New York?
Okay, so it's $340 to apply for your pistol permit, plus whatever the federal fingerprinting fee is.
Okay.
And then you have to renew that every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
We also have to get permits for long guns.
Permits for long guns?
$140.
Oh my God! You guys got it crazy here.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
I know. It's a little bit insane.
What type of training?
Yeah.
Okay. What type of training do you have to have in order to get your pistol permit?
So that's the funny part. Nothing.
The training is you have to have $350 and not let the check bounce.
Yes.
You're kidding me.
Nope.
Wow. All right. Can I say that's ridiculous?
Yeah, and it's just funny because you can't in New York State you can't touch a pistol without a permit. If you walked into a gun store right now anywhere in New York, you take either the upper or the lower.
Okay.
If you took the upper, would probably be better. If you went into a gun shop right now anywhere in New York State and you saw something you wanted to see and you were like, "Can I see that?"
Mm-hmm.
The first thing they're going to ask is for your permit. And if you don't have a permit, they're not taking it out of the case.
Right, yeah, that's in Massachusetts too. Just for handguns, you can't, I call it fondling the hardware.
Yeah.
You can't fondle the hardware unless you have a permit.
You're going to stay towards the Brooklyn Queens Expressway, so middle lane or the right lane.
All right.
So, yeah, and it bothered me because I'm like, well, they keep talking about wanting to be safe and wanting to do all these, all these things. I'm like, but they literally took away the one thing that is going to make people safer, which is training and experience and
the ability to protect themselves.
Right, and being familiar with firearms and stuff. So it's in New York City, they basically just turned around and said, okay, so if you want a permit, and you can't carry it. I can't leave the city with it. It stays in my home or to and from an authorized range in New York City, which there's, I think, 8.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, unless I have a hunting endorsement on my permit, then I can go to an authorized hunting ground in New York State. Can't leave the state, though. And otherwise can't leave the city. So, it's a little bit crazy. It's a lot of it crazy.
A lot of it, yeah.
It's a lot of it crazy. And I really wanted to start getting more into training, too, and teaching other people, because I'm like, you know what? I live on Staten Island, and Staten Island is a little bit different from the rest of New York City.
Yeah.
We are part of New York City. We are also known as the forgotten borough of New York City. Everybody forgets us because this bridge that we're on right now is the one thing that connects us to the rest of New York City. And I mean, during Sandy, all of our resources were in Manhattan, we're in Brooklyn, we're in Queens, in the Rockaways, and Staten Island kind of was hung out to flood.
Wow.
So they couldn't get anybody there. They couldn't come over this bridge. It was too dangerous to get any other bigger or larger vehicles over it. So we kind of had to fend for ourselves. So we're always different in every aspect of it. And a lot of gun ownership is on Staten Island. So and it was a lot of males. And I was like, let me try reaching out to some females. And that blew up. I put out a Facebook post, and 2 days later, I had 150 women that were interested.
That's awesome.
So it was kind of cool because I was like,
way cool.
Oh, I didn't think that this was going to be this big, and I got proved wrong.
That's great.
So, so I started training. I started getting a lot of my instructor certifications and taking as many training courses as I can, and then I wanted to really get involved in the political aspect. Yeah. Because I was realizing how hard a lot of this was going to be because of the laws in New York City.
Restrictive laws, yeah.
And DC Project.
Right, so that's only 3 years old.
Yeah. So, the DC Project, I mean, I don't think I've ever met a group of women who, A, I get along with, and B, that we all share the same values, and we all are these driven, ambitious, fierce women. See what I mean? Traffic.
Right. Do we have enough people to get in the HOV lane? Is the HOV lane open?
It's probably not open.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. People live in the city. They sure like to wait.
So
DC Project.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been around so many women who are just so fierce and driven and ambitious and vocal about what they want, as far as emulating what they want and it making sense. Which that sentence probably didn't, but...
Did the DC project reach out to you? Did you reach out to them?
So I sort of reached out to them. I'd come across it when I was looking up and researching women shooting organizations. So I came across A Girl and a Gun.
Okay.
And then when I was stalking their website, I came across the DC project. So I was like, oh, I wonder if they have a rep in New York. And they did. And then I noticed that their rep for Florida was Gabby Franco. And Gabby Franco is a good friend of mine who I've known for a while through my aunt, Longtree, but my aunt's pistol instructor who was on Top Shot with Gabby.
Wow.
So that's how I met Gabby. And I reached out to her. I was like, hey, so what's this thing, the DC project, about?
Right.
And she kind of gave me a quick rundown. And she's like, oh, you should check it out and whatnot. So I had emailed the New York rep just to kind of see if she needed anything, or if she needed, any backup or help.
Can you get some help? Sure.
And she said, well, actually, I'm not going to be able to go this year. So do you mind if I give your information to Amanda Suffolcool?
Yeah,
so I was watching a couple of episodes yesterday.
Everything comes back to Amanda.
I was watching a couple of episodes yesterday, and I think every single one of them has mentioned Amanda. So, Amanda, you're awesome, and I love you.
She rocks.
She does. So, Amanda called me, and she kind of gave me like a little pre-interview kind of, let me see if this chick is cool enough to hang out.
Let me see if she's cool hanging enough to hang out with the cool girls.
Yeah, and I guess she thought I was, because then I got an email from Di Muller, and Diana reached out to me and was like, so can we get on the phone and can we chat about this? And I was like, absolutely. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into at that point, because I knew shooting. I didn't know shooting as a sport yet.
Okay.
So I didn't know. I knew some of the big players, but I didn't really know the big players. So Di goes, hey, can you just do me a favor? I'm trying to add you into this group chat, but I can't because we're not friends on Facebook. So can you just shoot me a friend request? So I did, and I texted her back. I was like, well, it denied me because it said that you have too many friends. So she's like, all right, hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out. So that's when I realized, I was like, oh man. So
this is serious.
I'm now kind of part of an organization where these women are the women of the industry, and this is fantastic. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit intimidated, and I'm a little bit nervous.
No.
Because here I am, like this girl from New York City that I sheltered from guns my whole life.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, like, I'm thrown into this world with all these experienced women, and I felt like home. Which was probably the most awesome feeling when I went to DC for the first time, and I really I was on Cheryl Todd's team, and Cheryl, I love you too.
Cheryl rocks. Polka dots are her camo.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if you heard this. I was dating this girl a few years ago, and I would show all these pictures with I met Cheryl at the GRPC in Tampa a few years ago, and she was wearing polka dots. And then the next time I saw her, she was wearing polka dots. And I would share these with this woman I was dating. And I would talk about Cheryl, and she's like, is that the polka dot woman? So I ended up saying this to Cheryl, and so that's when she started the whole polka dots are my camo thing. Which is pretty funny.
You know, she's
awesome.
Her voice, I love her voice. Her voice is so soothing. And my husband too, he's like, I really like her voice. I love listening to her show because I love her voice.
Yeah.
So I was on Cheryl's team, and I had a hard state, and we kind of rocked it, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm definitely coming back next year. And so the first year, this is kind of when I guess all of my back-to-back jumping around started, because I drove back from DC and then got in at about midnight, and then I had to be on a plane to Jamaica for my best friend's wedding at 5 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
So it was come home, unpack, repack, get back in the car, drive to the airport on a plane to another country.
That's crazy.
So that's kind of, I can't keep up with myself. So yeah, and then last year Di asked if I could be a team leader, and I was like, absolutely.
Wow.
And we rocked it out last year. We had couple of bad meetings, but overall it went really, really well. And I had a junior on my team last year, Mia from Virginia, and she is the coolest, absolute most best 15-year-old I've ever met in my life.
That's cool.
She is awesome, and we killed it last year, so I'm really excited to go back this year.
Awesome.
And it was just, I don't know, man. I think the DC project really made me fall more in love with shooting as an industry. Because then even when I went to SHOT Show, my first year, I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't know my head was pulled 27 different ways. The second year I went, I was a little bit more comfortable. And then last year, I was kind of like, I was doing my own thing. I was there on my own. I was there on my own badge and not under somebody else's. And I kind of set my own pace and was like, this is really awesome. And I realized what we were doing, how important what we were doing really is.
So tell us a little bit. We've talked about the DC project. Tell us what you do with the DC project.
So yeah, I guess that would kind of be important.
It's good to know. Look, I've talked to Holly Sullivan. I've talked to Amanda. Later this year, I'm going to get Cheryl in the car for an interview.
Are you going out to Arizona?
I am going out to
that's awesome.
to JRPC. So I'm going to get Cheryl and Danny in the car. But tell us what the DC project does.
So we are one woman from every state. We've kind of gotten a little bit more than one woman. I mean, New York we kind of separated the state of New York City and the New York State.
Oh, cool.
So, but overall, it's one from every state, and we go and speak with our legislators, and we make appointments with them. We go down, we introduce ourselves, we break off into teams so it's not so overwhelming, and we put a new face to gun ownership for them, because a lot of the times it's they have this stereotype and we're breaking that.
Right, yeah, it's usually what people see is an overweight, middle-aged white guy like me.
I mean...
Right. Yeah, I know, right?
No, not at all.
No, I know. That's all right.
But whether it's they see the guys in flannel with the beards or the guys in contractor pants and polos or tight t-shirts and beards, that's kind of their stereotype.
It absolutely is. Absolutely.
And for us to go in there where a lot of the women bring their children, or they have stories that are the reason why they're
why
there.
They want to have a gun, right?
Right,
They're
and
in a
why
bad
they
relationship or a scary situation.
Right. I mean, a lot of the women have very powerful stories. So a lot of times when these legislators or their aides hear this, they're like, wait, what? And especially when we go in there with the idea of, well, gun ownership and Second Amendment rights are women's rights. When you take away the right of self-protection, you're taking away the right of a female to defend herself. So how is that any different from any of the other women's rights that you're so-called fighting for?
Exactly.
You want us to be paid equal. You want us to have a choice on abortion. You want us to have choices on every other walks of life. But you don't want to give us the choice to protect ourselves, to maybe prevent one of these other things from happening to us. And that's what infuriates me the most.
That is awesome.
So, we go there and we tell them these stories, and sometimes, most of the time, they've been very receptive, at least listening to us.
Right.
And for the most part, engaging in some type of a conversation as opposed to a debate.
Right.
Or an argument.
Just shutting it down.
Right. And we want to have a conversation about it, because we're not going to sit here and say, well, we're right and you're wrong, but we want to hear the other sides, because we want to be able to do this effectively to where our constitutional rights are not going to be infringed upon, and people are still going to be able to feel safe. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
And we want to keep these relationships, and we want to take it back to our home states when they're in their home offices, and continue that conversation with them, and hopefully act as a resource and a source of information that when something does come up, whether it's a bill or a discussion or a hearing, kind of be like, hey, listen, so this is what this actually means. This is what this is actually going to be doing to the gun community and to gun owners. As opposed to just having something shoved down our throat and then it be argued by politicians or by legislators that may not be as educated in the firearms world or community as we are.
Listen, let's face it. Most politicians have no idea about gun stuff. None.
No.
None. And I always like to tell people, I say, listen, here's the scoop. If they're wrong on my topic, what else are they wrong on?
Right.
Like everything else. Everything else. And we trust the politicians. We think they know what they're talking about. We think they have our best interest, but they really don't.
Right. And, so when we get set up with an aide down in D.C., they have Second Amendment aides or staffers that will specialize in Second Amendment. And so they have those resources kind of spread out around their offices for different topics. So if we're not sitting with a legislator, we're sitting with their Second Amendment representative, I guess.
That's cool.
And so I went into Chuck Schumer's office. So now you'd be surprised to hear that it was a pleasant conversation.
Oh my.
However, I had a meeting set up with an aide who's originally from Georgia, who went hunting when he grew up around guns.
Sure, so he's probably a pro-gun guy.
He is, but he's working in an office that's one of the most anti-gun offices and anti-Second Amendment offices in the entire Congress and Senate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, how, like, so
he's like, this is just a job. It's just a stepping stone.
Right, like, so they're not even going to be listening to them, because that's clearly evident. But if we can at least have that open communication with the office, and that's what we want. We don't want the reputation of, oh my God, here are these gun girls again, or here are these gun nuts again. We want these are educated women. You're going to go towards, so you're going to follow us around, you're going to go towards the right, towards West Street.
Skyscrapers and everything.
Yeah, so that's World Trade.
The World Trade Center.
That's New Freedom Tower.
The New Freedom Tower.
Yeah,
very
it's
cool.
Kind of stuck behind the fog, but...
Right, this is not a good day.
You're going to make a right onto West Street.
All right. We'll just do this.
It's fine. I have a badge.
I have pepper spray.
Oh, because there's state troopers that hang out over there, but they're all over. So don't worry, if we get pulled over, I got a badge. You'll be fine.
Hey, listen, she's got a badge, officer.
But
she's not afraid to use it.
No, I'm not.
Oh my God.
It's got me out of many tickets.
Nice.
So, yeah, the DC project is, I think, one of the most important organizations that I've ever been a part of, and I've been a part of a lot.
Yeah.
And it's something I love. I work my entire year, my month of June, and now this year, July. I usually will not commit to anything until I have my dates for DC.
That's awesome.
So, because I love doing it, and I love going down there, and I love being able to establish these relationships and change that stereotype and be able to kind of say, listen, we're the gun owners of America.
Right.
We're the ones who your laws are affecting, and you're stripping our constitutional rights away. You're not doing that to any of the other criminals, because, again, they're criminals. And, how many times are we going to say this? Criminals don't follow the law.
Right, that's the definition.
Yeah. Go figure. Crazy concept. So, yeah. This year we'll be down there in July.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure my roommate booked our hotel today, so.
Yay.
She said she was going to. Cool. So,
can you say who you're rooming with?
Yeah, I'm actually rooming with Stephanie Schaefer. She's from Nebraska.
Stephanie, so this could be ridiculous. I'm gonna check the. I'm going to check the Facebook here because I am very sure she just friend requested me this morning.
Yes, because I told her what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, by the way, you have to go check it out.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then you'll probably end up having to make your way to Nebraska at some point.
You know what? We have 50 states, and I want to interview somebody in every state. So that's one of the big long-term goals for riding shotgun.
Well, I mean, you got a good start because you got 50 women from DCP.
Right? So it should be pretty simple, right?
That was the coolest thing about this because now I turn around like, I have a female to shoot with in every state in this
every
country.
State. That is so cool.
Yep.
That is so...
Including Hawaii.
So cool. Including Hawaii.
And my cousin's down there, so I got to go down there.
See, it's like a family reunion, and you can write it off on your taxes.
This is true.
Cha-ching, baby. Cha-ching.
So.
All right, so we covered the DC project really well. Which came first, Girls Got a Gun or the DC project?
DCP.
DCP, okay.
DCP.
So tell us how the DC project turns into Girls Got a Gun.
So,
do you call it 3G?
No,
Girls
that's
Got a
actually
Gun.
not a bad idea.
3G? Right?
Not a bad
Is it
idea.
3 gun? Girls Got a Gun?
That's actually a really good idea. But I didn't think of that. I need a marketer. Like
This
an
is pretty
advertising
wild.
person.
I'm going to be a total
Good, go
tourist
for
geek
it.
here, right?
Do you want me to get this angle?
Yes, would you? Is that bad? We got a roof right here,
This is true.
right? Paid extra for the sunroof. Here we go. We got to
All
stop.
right. You should be good.
Very cool.
So yeah, this is
This is
One
the World
Trade
Trade Center.
Observatory.
We're going to be a super geek too, all right? We can do this. All right.
And then the memorial and the mall is back there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Skyscrapers and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Girls Got a Gun.
After my first trip in DC, I'm around all these women who are doing these tremendous, great, beautiful things, and I'm like, I was inspired. I was truly inspired by these women that I had spent a week with, and I was like, I need to do my part. And Girls Got a Gun, I couldn't think of a name for anything. I'm Googling, and
Right. All the good ones are taken. The Well-Armed Woman is taken. We got alliteration there. A Girl and a Gun's taking.
And I'm creative when it comes to some stuff, but this kind of stuff, not at all. So somehow the name finally just got there, and I was like, you know what? I just want to get word out, whatever it is, because when I was just starting off, I felt like I didn't have anywhere to go for resources, and then they all started popping up. So I was like, you know what? I want somebody who's never had gun ownership or who's interested in it and just doesn't know where to begin.
Yeah.
To kind of just have a place where they can just...
A place to start.
A place to start.
I like that. I'm an instructor too. I teach classes. My deal is this: I want to get more people into it. And if you want to learn how to do cool, high-end tactical stuff, just sign me up for that class, because I don't do that. I just want to get people up and going, teach them the fundamentals, how to be safe,
Right.
how to shoot, and steer people in the right direction.
So that's how that started. And then talking to Robin Sanderville at
Girl and a Gun.
From A Girl and a Gun, between DC and SHOT Show, talking to her, she's like, you need to open a Girl and a Gun chapter in New York City. I was like, you know what, I think I do. So that's how that started. And Girls Got a Gun, that was more, I think I'm going to call it 3G, because especially when I start talking about a girl and a gun, I get tongue-tied. So
Right.
3G was more information and not as much training.
Okay.
It was kind of just a website and a blog related. Just I wanted to get information out there. And then A Girl and a Gun gave me that training and hands-on aspect.
Gotcha.
So as a facilitator, I was able to go to leadership development, the leadership development portion of conference this year, which I just got back from last weekend. And by the way, best 6 days of my life.
Very cool.
And I came back with kind of this whole new vision of where I wanted to go, and then where I wanted to take my own personal business. Because that's what's great about A Girl and a Gun too, is it pushes us to expand our own business and our own growth, and not just as a shooter, but as a woman and our own personal growth. Right. And for a lot of women, that's a really big deal.
Oh my gosh, sure.
And I think that what Juliana and Robin have done with A Girl and a Gun is just, I'm kind of floored, and I don't really have a word to describe it, because I feel amazing is so overused that it lost its meaning, and inspirational, and it's all of those admirable adjectives and synonyms that I can't think of right now, because I've been up for 24 hours.
Right.
But and all of these things kind of inspired me to put my spin on these things. So a little secret that I kind of haven't spilled yet, but I finally filed for my LLC last week.
Yay!
As a training company.
Congratulations.
Which will be under a different name.
Okay. Not the one I picked. I see how it is. That's all right.
It will be under a different name. It is women empowering. However, it can reach out to more of a broad mass. I mean, my husband's in the military, so when he comes home, he's gonna, he wants to help out. So I didn't want to keep it so, what's the word I'm looking for?
Narrow?
Right. I didn't want to keep it so narrow and just kind of reach out to one demographic. I really wanted to reach out to a lot of different demographics, because there's a lot of guys who also don't really know where to go, where to turn. Oh my gosh,
absolutely.
So I wanted to continue to be that resource for everybody, and especially in New York City, because New York City does not have these resources. They don't. There's one public range really in New York City, which is where actually I think we either passed it or coming up on it, somewhere along this highway. Cool. But and everybody knows that they're there, but a lot of the information that gets put out by different people, and I don't want that. Right. Because everybody's like, oh, how do you have a gun in New York City? I'm like, it's easy to get one. It's expensive, but it's easy. You fill out the application online, you notarize the paperwork, you send it in, and they call you in for an interview, and then they give you your permit. So it's not
and
really...
there's no training?
Yeah. So, it's kind of like... I wanted to be able to reach out to all these other different demographics and masses, and that's where this new birth child of mine is coming from. My birth child. And I'm really excited. I'm really nervous, and I'm really scared. But
you're gonna rock it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? I have like an immense amount of women behind me that cheer me on a regular basis too, and that's kind of what keeps me going. I talk to either one of the DC Project girls or one of the A Girl and a Gun girls almost on an everyday basis. Wow. I talk to one of them.
That's great.
I spent the whole week in Texas with Stephanie, and I didn't know her from a hole in the wall. I didn't know that she was in DCP last year, because we were kind of running all back and forth, and
sure.
There's a lot of us, and not all of us know each other, and we're all on time limits and time constraints, and you go there with people that you do know, so you're talking and you're hanging out, but we missed each other in DC. And our first day of leadership training in Texas for A Girl and a Gun, she turns around and she goes, "You Lauren from DC Project?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "So I'm Miss Nebraska." She goes, "So I was talking to Di, and we were talking about setting up a table on Thursday for Vendor Day to kind of push the raffle tickets out for Tig and Jerry for the team match." And I was like, "All right, I'll help, whatever you need." And then that was it.
Wow.
Next thing I know, we're roommating in DC
this year. That's great.
Probably next year for conference. So, but that's just all it took, and we're talking, we push each other, we inspire each other, and it's amazing. It really is amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is too cool. So. Way too cool. Way too cool. I'm lost. Right?
So that's Marine One. That's the fire department boat, the FDNY boat.
Yeah.
One of them. That's the big one, though.
The big one.
That's the big one. Yeah. Pretty cool.
That is cool. I gotta tell you, getting off topic, I kind of dig being down here. I think it's pretty cool.
You know, it is. It's definitely a place you gotta at least visit because it is pretty cool. I mean, they're doing.
There's a ton of stuff going on.
There is.
There's a ton of stuff.
I think did we pass the Intrepid already?
I think we did pass the
right?
Intrepid. How do we get back? Do we take a right and go through the?
Well, we could go.
Just bang a U in?
So this is the West Side Highway, and then the FDR is on the other side of Manhattan. So the FDR is on the east side, and it kind of runs parallel to the West Side Highway.
Gotcha.
But it's different views. So you we could.
Yes, let's.
Let's see.
I got the camera on the roof. Let's.
Yeah, man.
We gotta find our way over someplace.
Where are we? 10th Avenue. We can go. Can you get that way? Can you get off at 10th?
I can do anything. Are there 2 lanes? Oh, look at this. Easy peasy.
So, all right, this is West 14th Street. I mean,
okay.
Times Square is not that far. We could take one of the avenues across.
You tell me. I am just driving.
So the good thing about Manhattan is it is actually quite difficult to get lost because it is a grid and everything's numbered and it's only one number. It's not like Queens where it's 25th Street, 25th Avenue, 25th Court, 25th Road.
Oh my God.
It's just
is
avenues.
That guy just honking at me? I got a red light.
Welcome to New York.
Great.
The streets go east to west and avenues go north to south. So
Gotcha.
pretty easy. But
all right, so I'm going to ask you this. You don't have to share this, and that's totally cool. What do you carry, and how do you carry it? Do you change places? Do you have one gun that you carry?
Well,
do you change guns? What do you like to shoot?
So, right now I have my full-size M&P 9.
You do?
Well, not on me.
Oh.
I'd be a felon.
Why? You got a permit. We're in the city.
Well, so my permit is so sad looking because it says right across the top, restricted pistol permit, not for carry, in like big bold green letters.
You're transporting it.
That's, you know what? I've tried that excuse and they told me no.
Didn't work.
No, I also asked them if I could bring it to Texas and they told me no.
What?
Yeah. So when I went for conference, obviously I flew. I was on a real strict time schedule, cousin's bridal shower on Sunday, and then flight Sunday night to be in training Monday morning, and then leaving Saturday morning to be at a wedding rehearsal on Sunday afternoon. So real strict time restraints, and I couldn't afford to drive. And I called 1PP and I'm like, hey, listen, this is what I want to do. 1PP is One Police Plaza. That's where our licensing comes from the NYPD.
Do I have to turn right at some point?
You do.
Okay. Does it make a difference?
Usually the sign will say FDR Drive.
Okay.
So I just don't want to end up in a tunnel because then we'll end up in Jersey.
I'm going there later. I don't want to do it twice. Nothing against Rosie. Shotgun with Charlie.
Yeah, so
traveling.
I called 1PP and they told me no. They did laugh.
That's ridiculous.
Like, no.
So it's so ridiculous that you have, not that you have to have the permit, but you have the permit, and you can't take your gun to free America.
So, right. All right. So
it's completely ridiculous.
So the quick backstory on that was it used to be a target permit where you were able to travel and then people were using it to carry to and from a range because that's what it was. And that's what normal people do.
Right.
And New York City didn't like that. And so they got rid of those permits and they just issued a premise permit or a business permit. You can get a carry permit in New York City if you can prove you carry $10,000 of cash on you or more on a daily basis. So basically they issue you a permit to protect money and not life. They don't care about human life, they care about money. And,
wow.
And again, to get that carry permit, you don't need training. So it's non-conducive to what we're all kind of fighting for. Because we're not saying we don't want people trained. We just kind of want to be able to...
All right, can I turn here?
Yes, because otherwise we're going to end up going towards the tunnel.
All right. Well, let's do this. Holy moly.
So, you know, it's entirely frustrating because everything's backwards, and then they just started making laws on top of laws that contradicted other laws, and so yeah, we can't leave the city. And when they started phasing all of those permits out, now you can only transport to and from the authorized ranges. So there's 2 clubs on Staten Island that allow you to shoot pistol that you have to be a member of. There's one in the city on the West Side Highway. There's, I think, 2 or 3 in Brooklyn, and I think a couple in Queens. And then the NYPD has their ranges. So there was a guy who flew with his gun out of JFK.
Yeah.
Properly, you know, checked it in with TSA, did the whole thing, came back and got caught, had his permit pulled.
We hear these stories all the time. Stossel did a show on a couple of people. This woman was flying out of, I want to say she was flying out of JFK. Did all the TSA stuff she needed to do, checked on how much ammo, checked on the gun, checked on the laws, and they bagged her. They hung her up for a day, and it cost her like $15,000 in legal fees.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy they talked about from Atlanta that had an unloaded high cap magazine. Right? Unloaded 30 rounder. He was bringing from somewhere, taking it down to Georgia where he's from. And they got him for that. Same deal. Yeah.
I mean, so if you're flying, say you're flying from the West Coast or the Midwest, and you have a layover in New York, and now your flight gets canceled or your flight gets delayed.
Yep.
If you take your luggage and you take your firearm and you go check into a hotel, you are now a felon.
Right.
So it's either don't take it with you, don't fly into New York, or leave it with TSA.
Which is an unnerving feeling as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So these laws are non-conducive to anything, especially their quote-unquote gun violence. It just, those things aren't, and their excuse is, well, guns from other states. And I'm like, yeah, but what does that have to do with me going out of the city? Right. Nothing. It has nothing to do with me going out of the city. You just don't want me to be able to carry it. So now with this, I'm sure anybody who follows any type of Second Amendment related news or the NRA had heard in January, the Supreme Court agreed to hear a case that NYSERPA, which is the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, and the NRA are backing in suing New York City about our unlawful or unconstitutional gun laws. And this is a huge deal, because the Supreme Court hasn't heard a Second Amendment case since McDonald. And the last before was Heller. And so this is huge, and especially it coming from New York City. So the case basically was these guys had there was 3 plaintiffs, and one of them has a second home upstate New York. He doesn't hunt though, but he has a second home upstate New York, and he's not allowed to bring his gun to his second home.
That's crazy.
It's the mortgage is in his name, the deed is in his name. This is his property, and he is not allowed to bring his gun there from New York City. And
the second home is upstate, so he can't apply in that town, can he?
No, because he's a resident of New York City. Because then he wouldn't be able to bring the gun back into New York City. Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's one of that was one of the plaintiffs, and so they all basically have kind of the same idea of, if I have business in other states or in other counties outside of New York City, or if I have a second home outside of New York, why am I not allowed to bring my firearm there? So the Supreme Court agreed to hear this. So New York City's response was, okay, so we're going to let you guys bring your guns outside of the city now. You still can't carry them, but we're going to let you bring them outside of the city. And they had gone as far as saying, well, we didn't want this because their loophole to turn it into a carry permit. What? It doesn't even make sense. But okay. So
it really don't make sense.
Their exact words with this were, we're hoping that with this change in policy and in law, that the Supreme Court, that this will not have to go to the Supreme Court, because we don't want our laws, what was the term they used? We don't want them loosened because of this. So that statement alone shows, A, New York City is scared. B, New York City knows that they're going to lose because they know that their gun laws are unconstitutional.
Right.
And they don't care.
Wow.
So, obviously, NYSERPA and the NRA are not going to back down on this, and they shouldn't.
Yeah.
And once the Supreme Court agrees to hear a case, you don't just say, oh, no, it's okay, never mind. We're going to fix it. Because you're not fixing it.
Right. It's a little too late.
Yeah. It is. And so, hopefully, next conference, I'll be able to bring my guns with me.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome.
That would be, yeah. As I sit here and hash this out, like you can't bring, you're going to a conference to get some training, and you can't use your own guns. What did you use? I mean,
Robin's. Thanks, Robin. By the way, I might now actually want a Glock. Never thought those words would come out of my mouth.
Really?
I was never a Glock person.
No?
No.
I've been one of these guys as, starting off, you start off with one gun and it's just whatever you can start with. And then I got to the point where I'm like, everyone's got a Glock except for me.
I know.
I need to get one. And then after I got one, I'm like, okay, I'm in the club. And then I felt the same way about an AR. And I felt the same way about a 1911.
Well, I do want a 1911. I mean, I can't have an AR. I'd love one. Can't have one.
Right.
And then, so with the Glock, what happened was I was at another training conference when I was first starting out. Mm-hmm. And I think I shot 1,000 rounds in 3 days. And
nice.
I shot a lot of pistol rounds with a Glock that didn't fit my hand. And
yeah,
I think
your hands aren't huge.
No, my hands are really little. So it was, I don't even remember what it was. It was a really long time ago, and I remember leaving, my hands were bleeding. Oh my gosh. And it was just, it was a really bad experience for me. So I was just like, I don't want one of those. They hurt. I like my M&P. That's what my aunt had. That's what I was taught on, and that's what I was familiar with. So that's what I bought.
The M&P, now I'm not a Glock guy. I'm actually a revolver guy, but the M&P is a little more curvaceous.
Yeah.
With the curved grips, the Glock is really squared.
Yeah.
Kind of bulky.
But yeah, so it just, I didn't like it that much, and then I kind of was just like, no, stay away. And then obviously beggars can't be choosers when someone's giving you their gun and letting you shoot it for a week.
Right.
So I was shooting Robin's Glock 19, and I was like, oh, I like this. So thanks, Robin.
All right, Robin.
Now I gotta go out and spend another $500 on a new gun.
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining.
Right.
Husband might. No, he probably won't.
Probably not.
No, probably not. Nah, he won't. He'd buy it for me, actually.
Oh, probably. There's romance right there.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's good. He's real good.
Very, very cool.
I still do owe him a range bag, though. I keep forgetting.
Oh.
2 Christmases now. I'm like, I'm sorry, babe. I'll get you one, I promise. Yeah. But yeah.
What kind of stuff do you do with the Girl on a Gun conference? I've seen some videos. And it's like I've seen everything from like Derek LeBlanc was doing some talk on kids and gun safety. I saw some videos of some friends from Ohio that were shooting ARs from helicopters.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I actually met Derek when I set up the DC project table with Stephanie, and we were sitting next to Derek, and he was really awesome to talk to. And I wasn't in one of his classes. So the first couple of days is leadership development for facilitators of chapters and their A teams, which are their go-to girls, and they're real their support system with running their chapters and stuff. And it's leadership development, and it's instructor courses, and it's bonding, and it's just a lot of really cool stuff.
Cool.
Like a lot of really awesome stuff. And then the rest of the girls, everybody else gets in on usually Wednesday, and that's when they schedule.
Okay, so they do like a day or two for the instructors, and then invited
for the facilitators,
everyone else. Okay.
And they have a course list that is, oh my God. I remember reading it for the first time, and again, I was overwhelmed because it was something new to me. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to pick? And I only have 2 slots because I have to leave Saturday.
Oh, man.
I couldn't even stay for all of it. And I was on the borderline of tears. So some of the greatest instructors and greatest shooters and competitors and everybody is there, and they're just, it is something that's only offered to a Girl and a Gun members, and it is a beautiful thing.
That's awesome.
It is, and it just a lot of cool stuff. There's something for everybody. You want to sharpen your AR skills, your 3-gun skills, your shotgun skills, your pistol skills, your revolver skills, your knife skills, your self-defense skills, anything.
Wow.
There is a class for everything, and it's, again, I think it's really what kind of puts a Girl and a Gun on the next level, because it's just
it's not all female instructors, because I've heard a few guys are like, I'm going to a Girl and a Gun, and I'm like, is he an instructor, or is he just taking a class?
And what's awesome is these instructors, a lot of them, like, they're volunteering their time to come take, just to come teach us and hang with us and instruct us and share with us their wisdom of their ways. So it was great, man. And all the instructors are just they're phenomenal. They really are phenomenal. I mean, I had classes with Tatiana Whitlock and Heather Eckert and just Michelle Serino, like just being able to get a little tiny piece of the knowledge that these women and these instructors and these men have, it was invaluable to me, just to have like that little piece.
Wow.
So yeah, it was awesome.
Very cool.
I can't wait till next year.
Very
I'm already looking at Airbnbs. Steph and I are on it.
Nice.
So we have like country bars and stuff out here now.
Country bars?
Hill Country Barbecue Market.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is, I gotta tell you, like I said, I've never really been down to New York to do anything. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a little something to do for everybody. That's new though. I didn't know.
Mostly we're sitting in traffic.
We are. Welcome to New York.
Let's talk about some cool stuff. If you weren't doing this, if you didn't get, I don't want to say hooked on the gun stuff, what would you be doing? So you get your EMT job, but what would you do in your, I don't want to say spare time, but what would you be doing with yourself?
Using my Cricut machine.
Right. Using your Cricut machine to make what, like stickers on shirts and. Oh my
I'd craft all day. I still craft.
Really?
I mean, I went to Disney. I was in Disney in last October. Oh God, my husband would kill me if I couldn't remember when he proposed. So I had a different shirt every day, and I made all of them. And then I was at a bachelorette party in Antigua, and I made bathing suits, and I made shirts, and I made tumblers that said Bride Squad on them, and
oh my goodness.
And yeah, I would craft.
Okay. There we go.
Because I kind of do that. I try to work everything in at once, so I do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's relaxing.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Sometimes.
I'll take your word for it.
When things are working the way they should be. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then I guess at this point, I don't.
It sounds like you don't have time. It sounds like you don't have time to do anything like time for yourself. But if you have time for yourself, what do you do?
I read.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of books?
I'm a Harry Potter nerd.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
No.
My kids are 16 and 18, and they went through the Harry Potter stage. You know, and that's like my son was like, I'm going to read book 1 and then book 3 and then go back and read book 2 and then 5 and then read 7 and I'm just like, holy moly, dude. And then my daughter would say to me, when she was less than 10, she'd be like, Dad, are you tired tonight? I said, I don't know why, honey. And she's like, we want to watch a Harry Potter movie. I'm like, Dad is definitely tired.
But why?
Oh my gosh, it's so boring.
No, it's not.
Oh, we went to see the Deathly Hallows 2, right? The second one,
Mm-hmm.
part 2. We went to go see that at the theater. So we're sitting there, and I slept for 45 minutes. And I said afterwards, like, what'd you think, Dad? I said, I think that was the best one yet. I only slept for 45 minutes. They're like, Dad, come on.
It was, I don't know, man. I love it.
Okay, I do. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, but Hermione Granger is my favorite.
All right.
Because she's like
a badass.
She is. I didn't know if I could say that word.
I did. I was editing. I interviewed the guys from South Place Sinks in Miami. And this is fun with editing, and I'm learning more about editing the more I do it. So he ended up saying it was a show, and what I ended up doing was I got the sound of a quick fart, and I put the poop emoji over his mouth when he said it.
There you go.
So I'm not too worried about badass.
Okay. So yeah.
Okay, so Hermione's a badass.
She is. She comes into this whole world not knowing anything. She just finds out that she's a witch and she's, Muggle-born. She's got no idea about anything. And yet, she is the brightest, one of the most powerful witches of her age. And it's like, you know what? That's me,
okay.
man. I came from a world that was anti-gun.
All right, so you connect with her.
I do.
All right, I got that.
And then she keeps the boys in track. And that's been the story of my life since I have two little brothers.
There's something else that you do.
2 little brothers. She keeps the boys in check, and I'm like, story of my life.
All right, all right.
Now I have a husband, keep him in check.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
He'll tell you the same thing. He'll actually admit to that. That if it wasn't that, him and I just are such a team, and I think we keep each other in check, but yeah, so.
All right. I like the meme that says even Hogwarts was an armed school.
Duh.
Yeah. Right. Everybody carried their
wand. You didn't go anywhere without your wand.
I was going to say stick.
Come on, guys. Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah. I'm a Harry Potter nerd.
You're a Harry Potter nerd.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what else do I do in my free time?
I told kids at Halloween last year. So I've been a band teacher for a long time, and I told kids last year that I was going to go as a Harry Potter wizard for Halloween, but instead of a lightning bolt, I was going to put a quarter note rest on my head. You have to know what a quarter note rest is.
I do.
Okay.
My mom played the piano ever since she
Very cool.
I guess, knew what it was.
That's cool. I tell everyone I know the white keys from the black keys.
I took lessons and then I stopped. And I regret stopping, actually.
I can't tell you how many times, and I tell this to kids all the time, I said, this is like, once you learn how to play an instrument, you're going to have that for forever. For forever. I said I talk to people all the time that said they stopped taking lessons and they wish they would have kept it up.
Yeah. I could kind of sing. I like to think I can. Everybody else tells me no, but I like to think I can. Karaoke is my jam.
Oh.
Before he cheats. Yep.
Okay.
But yeah. So.
What else do you like to read?
I don't know. I guess I've read a lot of James Patterson books and murder mystery kind of books and stuff like that. Anything that people recommend that are good. I picked up Chris Kyle's book, American Sniper, and I haven't gotten a chance to read it yet. And then I also picked up 2 books from Chris Pronto from 13 Hours. Yeah. The 13-hour book that he helped write, and also The Ranger Way, I believe it was called.
Gotcha.
It was kind of a self-help book, but he kind of took what he learned going through Ranger training and being in the Army and doing all this and going to Benghazi, and kind of worked that into a self-help book that can relate to the civilian.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I got to get on that too.
I have a boatload of books. I never have time to read them.
Yeah, that's my. I have like bookshelves full of books.
Yeah,
Just like,
yeah, same here.
And then I have my Kindle, and then I'm like, bring it to work with me all the time, and I go for it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna nap.
I love a power nap. I can get. It almost feels like a whole night's sleep in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
In 8 minutes, and I did this yesterday.
I did this like 5 hours ago.
Nice. Yeah, just shut, like 8 minutes. I will wake up from being dog tired, take an 8-minute nap. I will wake up and I'll be like, man, where am I at? What day is it? How did I get here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
If I could sleep that well at night, that would be incredible. But that doesn't happen.
So, what else
Doesn't
do I do?
happen. Yeah, what else do you do?
I travel. I mean, shooting has been the biggest reason why I travel, but Steve and I do travel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We have a timeshare in Disney. We love Disney.
Wow.
I love Universal, mainly because of Harry Potter World. Not gonna lie.
All right.
But
It all comes back to Harry Potter.
it does. Always. I see what I did there. You're not gonna get the always joke. But.
It's a Star Wars thing.
No.
It is.
Always?
Always. May the Force be with you. Always.
It's Harry Potter thing.
No, they
It's a
stole it from
Potter
Harry.
thing.
No, they stole it from Star Wars.
No, because
my
it's
gosh.
after all this time. Always.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Well, agree
It's a
to
Star Wars
disagree.
reference.
Harry
Okay.
Potter, but okay.
Okay. Whatever.
So.
Whatevs.
Yeah, man, we have our timeshare in Disney, and that's pretty cool because we could kind of use that to travel anywhere around the world, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So we used it for the first time last year, and that's when we got proposed. Well, I got proposed to. Yeah.
We got engaged.
We got engaged.
No, we got engaged.
Steve and I got engaged. I keep referring to him as my husband. It's just easier. So I don't like the word fiance. It's weird. I don't know. I don't like it. It's easier to say husband.
All right.
So.
Okay.
And then I don't know, man, because shooting has just been such a huge, massive part of my life for the last 10 years that a part of me, I don't really know what I would be doing without it. I love my job. I love being a paramedic. I love kind of being able to make that difference. All right, so we're gonna have to make a left.
We're gonna have to, we're finally on the other side.
Yes, we are. We are on First Avenue, and then you're gonna have to find a sign that says FDR Drive because I forget what streets go where.
Great.
But there's
not coming to my name.
So, just it. Like I love being a paramedic, and I work for my local also, my union. So we've been trying to form. We've just been trying to make this place a better place to work and to be, because a lot of it is we, as a first responder in New York City, especially EMS, because we're such a baby agency to the rest of the city. As far as other first responders go, I mean, PD and FD have been around forever, like the late 1800s. They've been around, mid 1800s.
Yeah, like Theodore Roosevelt used to be the commissioner.
I mean, FDNY is 156 years old, something like that.
Wow.
155 5. We did the 150th anniversary, I think, 4 years ago. So 154-ish, whatever.
Cool.
That's a really long time.
That's a way long time.
And so now we're like this baby agency, and we just got taken over by FDNY in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still trying to figure ourselves out. And EMS is this agency that nationwide we kind of get crapped on. And we don't like it. Our mayor doesn't want to pay us as much as other first responders because he wants to make sure everybody gets paid fairly and what they deserve, but the EMS work is different.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I get shot at, and I don't have a gun to protect myself or, an actual bulletproof vest. And you want me to go near fires, and I don't have the proper gear for that either. So you're right. It is different. We do this crap without
anything to be able to protect ourselves.
Right. So
craziness.
a lot of my heart, my soul has been put into really trying to make EMS a great place to work and be, and a lot of the aspects of it are really awesome. I mean, and then some of them are, there's room for improvement. So watch what I say.
It's all right. All right, listen, let's wrap things up. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, we haven't.
Well, I know, right?
I'm sorry, traffic.
Right. How can people find all of your stuff?
Okay, so...
I know. This is going to take the rest of the time.
Yeah, right. Lauren Hartnett on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have a Disney shirt on or something. I don't know.
Probably.
Girlsgotagun.com.
Girlsgotagun.com, okay.
Yes, because I just bought the .com.
Nice.
I'm trying to get all official and stuff.
Make it real.
On Instagram too, Lauren X3 Hartnett, Law X3 Hartnett, LAUX3 Hartnett.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, because there's links to Girls Got a Gun through my personal stuff. And
gotcha.
So
and Girls Got a Gun's got a Facebook page?
Yes, it does. Girls Got a Gun does have a Facebook page.
It's now got an up and growing website. It's got the Facebook page.
And an Instagram.
And the IG. DC Project? Do you have a special page for that? I know there's a GoFundMe set up for all of the DC Project gals.
So, the DC Project, if you don't know, now you will know.
Viv DeVoe, now you know.
Team Match, sign up for it. You can go to Di's page, Di Mahler's page. She's got or DC Project Team Match. Mm-hmm. It's 3-gun match. You can also buy raffle tickets for a partner spot with either Tig from the 13-hour Benghazi story or Jerry Michalik.
Wow!
And you could, so they're $20 each, 6 for 100. You buy and you could buy a raffle ticket, and then if you win, they're going to announce the winner at the NRA annual meeting at the end of it. Cool. So if you win Tig spot, you get a car pistol, and if you win partner with Jerry, Mossberg shotgun. So
very cool.
Sign up for the team match, get a partner, rule either a junior or a female on your team. Mm-hmm. Buy your raffle tickets, because who doesn't want to shoot with Jerry Michalik?
Right.
And Tig.
They're both going to make you look bad. That's fine.
Or they're going to make you win.
You're going to be on a winning team, but it's not.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely do that. And DC Project on Facebook, and you could follow us and figure out, where we're going, what we're doing, figure out how you could help us and support us, because we definitely need that.
I can't believe I forgot this. Well, you were also one of the people on the cover of the Time magazine, weren't you?
Oh, I was.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, I was. That was awesome. That was really cool. I think you can turn here. I forget. I'm sorry.
Now you tell me. Oh, I see a sign for it now.
Oh,
that guy's getting into the lane I want to go to. I'm glad we're getting all this on camera.
This is how you drive in New York. You got to be present, man. This is, and these
how about
people.
This bicycle?
These bicycles.
F this dude. Come on. Dude, can I take a turn from here?
You could probably weasel your way in.
There's 2 lanes. Watch out for this lady.
You'll be fine.
Rock on.
And then you're going to make a right.
We're taking a right? Okay, right.
Yeah. So now we're getting on the FDR.
Now we're going to get on the FDR.
Yeah, Time magazine.
Magazine.
Coolest thing ever. They told the billboard's not up anymore, otherwise I would have drove past it, but
ooh,
not up anymore. So that was awesome.
That is cool.
That was to say that I was, to be able to just say
on the
that.
cover of Time Magazine.
Time Magazine,
Totally
yeah.
kick ass. Cool.
So cool.
All right. Well, listen. You can check out Lauren Hartnett at all of her Girls Got a Gun stuff on her DC project. You can check her out on the Facebook. You should also like and check out the Self Defense Radio Network. Riding Shotgun with Charlie is part of that. It's all your pro freedom podcasts in one place. You also should like and share and subscribe to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. If you're listening to this, you can listen to it on iTunes. You can listen to it on Spotify and iHeartRadio, and you can also find it on the YouTube. And we will see you next time on Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Thank you so much. We're going to get into a car accident. Where do we go?
This way.
Okay. Woo. Okay, now shake my hand. Woo.
Bye.